What's going on, my Century Unit? Is the Sentiment here. So this is my review of last week's episode of Monday Night Raw on Netflix on the 13th of January 2025. So this show was in San Jose, California. And the format of this review, I'm going to do it in a random order instead of doing it in a correct order. Otherwise, it's going to drive me crazy. So anyway, I'm not too sure. I might do review every Raw episodes on Netflix every week. So cross my fingers. So who knows? So yeah, I'm going to review last week's Raw. And this week's Raw, that'll be later on in the week, probably this weekend, so stay tuned for that. So, anyway, so Raw kicked off with CM Punk. He arrived at the arena with I think he's driving a black car. I don't know, is it a black Hummer or Range Rover? I'm not really 100% sure of the brand of the car or the design of the car. So anyway, so he got really good pop. You know, for the fans in San Jose, you know, they were chanting CM Punk, CM Punk. So, Punk kind of like, he kind of like thanking for the people, the firefighters, you know, in California, because if you living under a rock, not the rock, but there was, there was a forest fire in California. I think it was in LA. I think it surrounded around some parts of California, you know, the fires. So Punk kind of like thanking the firefighters for that, you know, glad no one got hurt. But anyway, it also brings up like last year's Royal Rumble match, you know, his first like televised match for 10 years. You know, he said like his tricep took a massive vacation. You know, he said like he's been out of the WWE for almost 10 years. He said like, I see the distance of my career is fading away, that the people can't see. And he kind of referencing John Cena. He almost say, I can see. He almost say me, but then he said like, to quote the famous man saying I can't see him. You know, you kind of bring up John Cena, man. You know, he said like, you know, he said, I always see you, Cena. He didn't really say Cena, but you always see him, John. I can't remember. It's been 2 days since I watched this show. But anyway, so he said like, I can see you. I always has been my friend. You know, even though like Cena, I think Punk and Cena hate each other in real life. I'm guessing that kind of patch things up. You know, it's been almost a decade, you know, even though John Cena is retiring this year. So he said like he's going to compete at the Royal Rumble, and it got me thinking that it'll be cool. You know, it's good to see Cena and Punk, you know, interact in the ring for almost a decade, well, 12 years. I think the last match or physical match they had like one-on-one was in 2012. Not 2012, online, 2013, you know, like, you know, the winner faced The Rock at WrestleMania 29, so, and I think the last time they actually teaming up in a match, I think it was Cena, Punk, and Big E taking on The Shield. I think it was, late 2013, early 2014, so it's been almost a decade, so, anyway, so, you know, and out comes Seth Rollins, and Punk really hated it, you know. I also forgot to mention this, you know, he said it like, you know, I got a lot of things on my plate. Seth Rollins is not in my plate. He said he kind of put himself over. He called himself the straight superstar, defeat the Messiah. You know, going back to Seth Rollins' his old nickname. You know, because that was in 2020. You know, Rollins called himself the Monday Night Messiah, and then he was the SmackDown Savior. That would be like, was it 2021, 2022? But anyway, so yeah, Punk says he's gonna enter the Royal Rumble, eliminate 29 guys. Says he's gonna point to, you know, like the WrestleMania sign. You know, if you watch Rumble matches, you know, the winner of that match points to the sign saying, It's just a gesture means I'm going to WrestleMania. So anyway, so out comes Rollins. The fans were chanting, oh, because of his theme music, you know. Anyway, so he said like he's the man of his word. He said I'll be standing here in this ring at Monday Night Raw, and the man who keep his word. You know, if I'm not the man who keep his word, I'll keep his world. Sorry, trying to get words out. Bit of a tongue twisting moment. So, if I'm not the man who keep his word, get my words mixed up of world and word, not keep my word. I won't be me. I will be you. Anyway, so he said like I lost a lot of matches. You know, I disappoint myself. I underestimated you. You know, he said like, Punk says, he kind of got a little cocky. He said like, did I still win? And Rollins says, I'd rather be the worst version of myself than be any version of you. He said like, to gain redemption, I'm going to take your WrestleMania dream and flush it down the toilet. I'm hinting that Rollins is going to turn heel. I'll get to more of that later on. But, he said, yeah, it'd be my pride of not just... it's basically, it's my pride to throw your ass over. And out comes Drew McIntyre. And he said, like, can you be any more of disgusting, selfish, and self-serving and top yourself? That was towards Rollins, not Punk. Punk brings up, his match with Drew at Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood. The Hell in a Cell match at Bad Blood. Like he said, like you're like covered in blood and tears. You're gonna have more. You're gonna have more than just 15 staples around your head. But anyway, he was going. It was towards Rollins. He said like the world. He kind of referred Punk as his real name, Phil. Like the world doesn't revolve around you. He said like towards Rollins, he said about he said like this leader thing is just an act, referring to wasn't there in last week's Raw, in the tribal combat match between Roman and Solo. He wasn't there. You worry about your agenda. You said about in the past about Roman must not get his power, something like that. I can't remember the promo, but anyway, so you worry about your little match, and you lost, and you got to tell your fans, "I told you so." That is so pathetic, Anyway, so they're kind of teasing like they're gonna have this brawl between three guys: Punk, Rollins, and Drew. Ron says, I have no patience of your crap coming out your mouth, But before that, and Drew says, about, I see self-images about you, but Punk admits he's a piece of crap. I don't know. It's funny, like, last week's Raw, the first Raw on Netflix, The Rock dropped, you kind of, like, say the word bullshit. I don't know, man. I feel like you need to put a lot of swearing into this because you're not on TV anymore, you're on Netflix, because Netflix is a bit uncut, so... Anyway, so Drew, Drew came along. He's about to tease like he's gonna get in the ring. This leading up to the brawl. He kind of backed off. He said like, Roman's got like the falafel. I don't know what means falafel. I think it's some kind of food or something. I'm not too sure. I'm guessing he's referring to the ulafala. So like Roman's playing Roman's playing chess. A lot of idiots back there is playing checkers. That's the American. We call it drafts, but they call it checkers in America. But anyway, so wish you kind of like Drew says, I wish a way to have the title before Roman. I wish that there's a match of every man for itself. I got it. You kind of end the segment says, I'll see you at the Royal Rumble. And that was it. And by the way, set up the next week's episode Raw. That will be this week's Raw. of Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. The WrestleMania 40 rematch. When Drew beat Rollins for the World Championship. And Punk cost Drew the championship. Loudon of Damon Priest cashing the briefcase onto Drew. So anyway, earlier, I think it was later on the show, there was an interview segment. Catherine Kelly interviewed Seth Rollins. Rollins says the key points. He says Drew's needling him for months now. I owe him a rematch at WrestleMania. So anyway, it's not last time we see Rollins on the show. We'll get to another segment with Rollins with Sammy a bit later on. So yeah, I'm trying to keep it short, randomly. Otherwise, this is going to be, I end up confused. It's going to be confusing, folks. So anyway, keep it down. So anyway, the first match of this Raw, we got Chad Gable taking on the mysterious Luchador, and then that mysterious Luchador is the debut of Penta. Just Penta, not Pentagon Jr. or Penta Alamero. In AEW, they gotta change Penta's surname a lot, But he's now Penta in WWE. Before that, Gable got a lot of "You suck" chants. You could tell that the guy's gonna. I think he's like a Monday version of Angle. Let's be real. He's got that Kurt Angle 5. He's came out with Kurt Angle's attire. With the. I feel like he's got the Captain America attire. Something like he looks like a. He looks like he's like walking like he's like a giant, a walking, talking peanut butter. With that attire, with the blue, with the red, white, and blue singlet. But anyway, the match between Penta and Chad Gable, this was good. It's Penta's first match in the company. Yeah, it was teasing like Penta is going. There's months now. Penta and Rey Fenix, the Lucha Brothers, are going to get signed with the WWE, and not confirmed Rey Fenix has signed yet, but Penta. Anyway, the match was good. It's a mixture of lucha libre and mat style wrestling. I think both gel in the ring. One more of the match. I think Penta was going for he was going for the I think it was going a springboard move, but Cable countered it with the punch and followed with the suplex. He was working on the leg of Pentagon Jr. He did lock in the ankle lock, but he did I was trying to remember. He did I think he got Penta got away of the flying headbutt. It was a good back and forth match between Gable and Penta. Penta did he did the I think it was the springboard plancha. Well, it's not a springboard plancha, but the springboard the springboard. Yeah, it was the springboard senton, I think. I can't remember. Anyway, I'll try to keep it short and simple. Yeah, Gable locked in the ankle lock. I thought that, it's funny to me, I thought members of American Made's gonna interfere. What's it called? Ivy Nelly and the Creed brothers trying to help Gable win this match. Fortunately, that's not the case. Gable locking the ankle lock. I think Penta countered it. So I'm trying to keep it short and simple. In the end, he locked in the not locked in, but he kind of hit the sacrifice. It's basically wrenching the arm back and follow up with the Penta driver for the win. Anyway, it was a good match. It was a good back and forth match. I can't remember the rest of the moves of this match. I'm not saying it was a must-see match, but it was a good showcase of Penta. And I'm really shocking to me. This show is a 2-hour show. I'll get to more of that in my overall rating of the show. But anyway, afterwards you had I think, is it Catherine Kelly interviewing Penta? Penta says thank you for San Jose. He cut his promo. It's a bilingual promo. In the first half he was speaking in English. The next next half he was speaking in Spanish. I've been waiting for this moment. I think he's been waiting for this moment. And yeah, he was saying something in Spanish. He said like this is not only the WWE era, or this is not only the Netflix era. He kind of ended his like post-match promo saying this is the Penta era, and that was it. There was like a little girl crying, not like in a moment, like I think it was a like passional cry. I'm guessing like one of Penta's daughters or something. Afterwards you had Penta hugging the kids. I'm guessing that's his wife and kids. I'm not too sure on it. So even though this is in California, I think it's close to Mexico. I think it is close to Mexico. It's got that Hispanic vibe because you got the Hispanic crowd. Anyway, so there's another segment. Oh yeah, there's one segment. Actually, I'm gonna do it random order. I'm gonna jumble it up a little bit. I'm not gonna do it in the correct order. So, yeah, tie-in of these two matches I'm gonna talk about. Those two segments is a bit of a tie-up of the two matches on the show. Anyway, so the next match we got. The next match we got Sheamus taking on Ludwig Kaiser, represent Imperium. You had Braun Breaker attending the show. I'm guessing that the winner of this match will face Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental Championship at Saturday Night Main Event. That will be this week on the 25th of January. I think this is the first one-on-one match they have. On last count. I don't have record. Back before this Netflix thing, it's on. For me, it's on TNT Sports. I couldn't I don't have. I got like a thing called Sky TV. It doesn't. You used to have the big red R button. It means record. So unable to. It's hard for me to catch up. Of the product, but I only I watch kind of like I watch YouTube clips of the WWE, to catch up what's going on. But anyway, so they also brought in they kind of bring in the also they show footage of the Intercontinental title match at Survivor Series almost 2 months ago between Braun Breaker, Sheamus, and Ludwig Kaiser. I think that was a really good match. The match between Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser, this was good. This was a good match. It's basically strength versus agility. Sheamus' strength, and then you got Ludwig Kaiser's agility. I think he did like a running baseball drop kick onto Sheamus, onto a chair. Was the chair on the side of the announce table? He kicked out. Sheamus kicked. Ludwig Kaiser kicked out of Sheamus's white noise off the top rope. He was going for I think he was going for the bro kick, but and then Kaiser did the chops, and then he was going for the shillelagh. It's the same shillelagh that hit hitting Sheamus multiple times in that Intercontinental title match at Survivor Series, but Sheamus countered with the he fought it with the running knee onto Ludwig Kaiser. So anyway, I think Kaiser is marking Sheamus, doing his beating off the chest. Instead of going to hit Sheamus with his own bro kick, he kind of trying to hit the insecure. I think it was the Izagiri. I'm not too sure. Some kind of kick, but Sheamus countered it, hit the bro kick for the win. And afterwards, he kind of confronted Braun Breaker. I think Braun Breaker said something about you got a chance to. You got a chance to beat me, something like that. I can't remember. So Baker pushing Sheamus or Breaker. I keep saying Baker or Breaker, but Breaker. I wish they called him Braun Steiner. Use the Steiner name. I think that's the Yeah, I wish they used. Yeah, I wish they used the Steiner name. That's a bit more easier, but and call it Breaker. I keep confusing of Baker and Breaker. But anyway, Breaker, pushing Sheamus. Braun pushing Sheamus, and that just probably set up their match at Saturday Night Main Event. Anyway, 1 second. God, 1 second, my laptop's dying. Anyway, folks, I'm back. Just plug in my charger. So, anyway, got this segment with Gunther. Gunther kind of berate the roster, the Raw roster. He brings up like last week's Raw on Netflix. He said he's less impressed of the in-ring performance. They're not fulfilled their expectations. They said like there's a lot of like personal dramas, like someone who is the head of the table. I think like who is the best in the world. He said like who cares? The only prize is this, the World Heavyweight Championship. And then he got interrupted by Jey Uso. And he says, you need someone who cares about the World Heavyweight Championship. I'm your man. And you can tell by Jey's getting over, the fans doing the yeet. Anyway, so basically what he's referring to is basically, Jey won the challenge Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. And Gunther reminds Jey of his previous 2 matches over the Intercontinental Championship. I'm guessing that was, I think it was like in 2023 and I think it was the early parts of 2024. This is before Gunther, dropped the IC title to Sami at WrestleMania. So it's got to be like around 2023, 2024, or the early parts of 2024. I'm not too sure. So he kind of reminds Jey about the previous 2 matches that he won. He kind of like put over Jey, you funny, you're entertaining, And he said like, you always will be a funny, entertaining tag team wrestler. He said like, you're not in my level, I think he said like the main event nickname means something to me, something like that. I can't remember. So he said like, main event, like he said, main event is fine to me. It's your choice is up to you. And Jey says you're right. Everything said is true. So like, this main event name is where I belong. I should be in that spot. Should sell merchandise. He said at main event I'm gonna kick your ass and become the World Heavyweight Champion, and that was it. So, I'm guessing we're not gonna get, even though we got no pay-per-views this month. I'm guessing like Saturday Night Main Event is replacing the Royal Rumble because the Royal Rumble is in February. I'm guessing there's not gonna be a lot of World Championship matches. For the Royal Rumble, I think the one championship match is confirmed. A part of the 2 Rumble matches is Cody versus Kevin Owens. This is like a rubber match of their rivalry, and I think it's a ladder match, for just the Wing Gold Championship that Kevin Owens is holding and proclaiming he's the true world champion, but the actual world title belt. So I can't wait for the Rumble. It's about 2 weeks now. Anyway, so moving on to the next match. So the next match, we got. Yeah, it's the third match. Yeah, third match. I'm trying to confirm. I think you had the. Yeah, it was the third match. Yeah, there was 5 matches. We got you had Penta versus Chad Gable, Sheamus versus Ludwig Kaiser. We got the women's Intercontinental title match, and we got the main event. Yeah, there was 5 matches, so I think, it was the women's title match, yeah. Anyway, I'm trying to remember the card. So anyway, the next match we've got the finals to crown the first ever women's Intercontinental champion. We got Dakota Kai represent Damage Control, taking on I'm gonna butcher this women's name, Lyra Valkyrie or Valkyrie. I can't really pronounce her name properly. I think it's Valkyra or Valkyrie. Not related to Tyler Valkyrie, but I think it's Valkyra. Yeah, Valkyra or Valkyrie. I think it's Valkyra. Yeah, Valkyra, man. Sorry, I'm trying to pronounce. I can't remember her. Can't pronounce the name properly. So, anyway, the match was good. I'm not familiar of Lyra, Valkyria. Yeah, Valkyria. I can't pronounce. Sorry about that. I'm gonna call her Lyra, man. This is gonna confuse him to me. Yeah, it's Valkyria. Oh, God, I'm comparing it to Tyler Valkyrie, John Morrison's wife. But anyway, so I'm not familiar with Lyra because she was in NXT. She's from Ireland. She was good. I think she's strength and agility. Dakota is just agility herself. Like one more of the match, Lyra just suplex Dakota off the ring apron. That was cool. I think like Dakota was going for like some kind of hurricanrana, but I thought like Lyra Valkyria. I wish they'd call her Valkyrie. That would be better. That'd be much better than just call her. It's confusing to me, but I'm gonna call it just Lyra. That's just me. Lyra, like I think she was going for some kind of power move, but I'm guessing like Dakota managed to count it into a hurricanrana. She did like not the it's funny, like I think it was a reverse. I think it was like the reverse the Canadian Destroyer. I forgot to mention this. I forgot to mention it in that match between Gable and Penta. Penta, hit the Penta Destroyer, the Mexican Destroyer, the Canadian Destroyer onto Gable. Gable kicked out for the near fall. Forgot to mention that. So anyway, Dakota guy hit the what's it called? The GTK. It stands for go to kick. It's similar to Punk's go to sleep, but Lyra got out of the ring. Anyway, in the end, Dakota was going for like the kick in the corner, but instead Lyra got out of the way, hit the sling blade, hit the Nightwing, her finisher, to win this match and become the first ever women's intercontinental champion. And this was it was a good match. It wasn't a blowing away match. It's good to see a new women's IC champion. Because two brands now got two women's mid-card champions. We got Chelsea Green's the women's United States champion on SmackDown. Lyra, Valkyrie. I'm trying to. Oh, Valkyria. I can't really pronounce her name. I think it's Valkyrie. It's kind of back and forth. It's got like RIA in her middle last name, her ring name, but it's Valkyrie, Valkyrie or Valkyria, something like that. So Lyra becomes the new IC champion. And then you got Dakota Kai kind of like show her sportswomanship towards her, raise her hand, and that was it. So sorry I can't pronounce her name properly. I'm not saying Valkyrie like Tal Valkyrie, but I think it is Valkyria or Valkyria. Yeah, it's something like that. I wish that but I'm gonna call her Lyra until I get her surname pronounced properly. So anyway, so let's move on to the next match. So the next match we've got Sami Zayn taking on The Miz. Here's the no build to this. It was a match was made earlier on a segment. After there was a segment between Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins. Rollins says not Rollins. Sami says if you want to talk about you want to talk. I'm here. And Rollins kind of dismissed Sami, saying like, he said it's a rough week for me, it's a great week for you, referring to he held Roman wins the tribal combat match last week on Raw, the first Raw on Netflix. It brings up like he always helped Roman winning matches, like the War Games match, I think it was in 2021. No, 2022, sorry, not 2021, 2022. That was the first Survivor Series War Games match, Survivor Series 2022. and that was building the seeds of Sami getting kicked out of the bloodline, you know, the original bloodline. You know, he helped. You know, it brings up. I think it brings up like he helped Roman retain the championship. You know, he said, "What's next? You're gonna help Roman help. You're gonna help Roman win the Royal Rumble match." He said, "Instead of helping Roman, help yourself." And I'm guessing Rollins gonna turn heel. I think he needs to turn heel, Rollins, man. I think he's much better as a heel than a babyface. So then you got like a confrontation between The Miz and Sami Zayn, The Miz and Karrion Kross. You know, before that, yeah, the Karrion Kross was pissed towards The Miz and informed The Miz that the Wyatt Six is moved to SmackDown. I'm guessing they're supposed to have a match between the Wyatt Six and the final the final Testament and The Miz, but unfortunately, yeah, they moved to SmackDown and said like he threatened The Miz, he got something to do with it. I'm gonna split his head open, and The Miz was being snarky. You know, I think Karen says, you know, something about, you know, without the bloodline causing your common problems. You know, he said about your dream has been a world champion. Miz says, you know, that's Karrion Kross said it, you know, and The Miz says, you know, speaking of world championships, Sammy's not my problem, or we got bigger issues more than Sammy. Something like that. I can't remember the promo. He says something like, you know, because I'm guessing referring to The Miz, like Sammy's never been world champion. Miz kind of said to Sammy, you know, like Sammy says to Miz, you know, for months now you've been Kross's lackey. And Miz says, I've been a world champion twice, more than you. And then, you know, Sammy challenged The Miz for a match later on tonight. I'm guessing like, yeah, we got, yeah, I think Miz says we got better things than Sammy, you know. Even though Karrion Kross, it's funny, like Miz brags about being world champion. You know, he said like, you know, Karrion Kross never been world champion. Yeah, he's been world. I don't really count the NXT Championship like a world title, but I don't want to get into that. So anyway, so Miz ends this segment, says we have to deal with Sammy, and he said he didn't say Sammy. He said we have to deal with him, and Karrion Kross says, you know, he kind of laughed, and that was it. So I think it's teasing the tension between, probably a match between The Miz and Karrion Kross down the middle. So anyway, and we got The Miz for taking on Sami Zayn. It was an okay match. Try to keep it short and simple. It was okay. You know, it's the funny part. You know, he kind of raised both his arms to get like a pop. You know, he got booed, and he gets every time he raised his arms, he got booed. Every time he points Sammy, they cheer. So that's kind of funny. So I think it was an okay match. You know, it wasn't special. It was an okay. It was not a wicked match, but it was kind of fine for what it is, man. You know, Miz did the kicks, you know. Anyway, Sammy did his stuff like hitting Miz with the suplex in the corner. They were going for their finisher, the Miz with the Skull Crusher finale, Sammy with the Blue Thunder Bomb. So I think he kind of Irish whipped Sammy. He was going to charge Sammy. Sammy got out of the way, hit the Avuna kick and the Blue Thunder Bomb. Yeah, the Blue Thunder Power Bomb, or I think it's called the Blue Thunder Bomb, whatever it's called, to win this match. Yeah, Miz, you know, took the. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny, like, you know, Karrion Kross didn't help the Miz. You know, I'm guessing this is teasing Miz is gonna turn babyface. You know, I think like this is the storyline. You have Miz turning on R-Truth, join with Karrion Kross. I think for weeks now, you know, he's like said like to Karrion Kross, I'm done with you. We've beat the White Six, you know, and Kross don't want him to lead the groups. He's not done with The Miz just yet, so they are teasing it. You know, I think this is leading up to The Miz and Karrion Kross down the road. I don't know, probably around, I don't think at WrestleMania, probably at the Elimination Chamber, we don't know. So, something like that, you know, and let's move on to this segment. This segment's shit, to be honest. Not really bad, but by one person. So, anyway, so out comes Rhea Ripley. He come out, says, Mammy's still on top. I'm Rhea bloody Ripley. Out comes Nia Jax. Nia Jax just basically saying like, I talked about, I, I was talking with Adam Pearce, talking about some transfer window. I think I'm referring that Nia is going to Raw now. She announced that she's going to enter the Women's Royal Rumble. Something about like talking about like Tiff's on TV top, you're still on top. Her Nia's jokes, her promo is bad. Not bad, but it's just so cringe. You kind of confront Bailey, like, what you're doing here, and Bailey shouted, I'm from here. I never knew she's from San Jose. I thought, like, Bailey's from Sacramento. Yeah, she's from California, but I think it's between San Jose or Sacramento, so she kind of confronts Bailey, call her town, was it a dumb lousy town? Got a bit booed. Yeah, the fans were booing Nia out of the building. Her jokes are so bad, he said about, like, no matter, I think something about, like, no matter it's Tiff's on tippy top, you're on top, still on top, I don't know, Nia's not a good promo, man. She's not a good talker, man. Anyway, so Bailey come from the crowd, said about like BBL Bailey's come to get me. I don't like her promo, man. Let's be honest, man. Bailey kind of says, if you've got something to say it to my face. You dumb, you big old dumb idiot. And then, even though like it's a 5-year gap, I check her age. Nia's 40 years of age, Bailey's 30 in her mid 30s. So, but anyway, so you had Nia pushing Bailey. She would push Rhea. No, it was a battle of the headbutts. Rhea headbutt Nia, and then Nia headbutt Rhea, vice versa. Then you had Bailey hit the knee towards Nia. Rhea kicked Nia out of the ring, and that was it. So waste of fucking time. I thought this was gonna lead up to with Liv. I'll get to more of that shortly. So that was a waste of time for me. I think it was the weakest segment on this segment. Had no purpose. Yeah, you had Rhea coming out. You thought this would lead up to Liv interruption, but so yeah. So Nia's on Raw now. I'm guessing the change plans. We're not. I don't think there's going to be a match between Nia and Tiff for the championship, because it probably makes sense because Tiff cashed the briefcase onto Nia. I thought we're going to have probably the women's title match probably at the Rumble or Saturday Night Main Event. For unfortunately, plans change. Bailey now is feuding with what's her name, Roxanne Perez. I'm guessing Perez is now on the main roster now. She cost Bailey the WWE Women's Championship on SmackDown the previous week. So yeah, this is leading up to probably this is teasing between probably Nia and Rhea for the championship again. Their first match since their match at Elimination Chamber last month. Oh, not last month. Last year. Sorry, my apology. And Bailey's gonna probably feuding with Roxanne Perez. So wait and see. So moving on to the main event. So the main event, we got the street fight. Damian Priest taking on Finn Balor. Before that, you had the second early on the show. You had basically revolve around Liv and Dominic. Finn said to Liv, you're gonna be world champion again soon. And Liv says about the Liv Morgan Revenge Tour is not about being champion, is taking the piece off Rhea Ripley, and she's not gonna get it back. And Finn says, speaking of, revenge, you two lovers gotta sort out your problems. You had Dominic, giving her roses. It's have to do with the women's title match the previous week. You had after Rhea beat Liv for the championship. You had Dominic trying to get back with Rhea Ripley. And Rhea rejected her. And then. You had Dominic giving Liv the roses, and Liv says, "I'm not bad." I'm not mad. Sorry, I'm a bit. God, sorry about that. I'm a bit dehydrated, man. I'm dying of thirst. But anyway, so for making this video. But anyway, so yeah, Liv says, "I'm not mad." You tell Dom to get not her bags, but Raquel's bags, and then you get Finn said to the rest of the members of the Judgment Day that I'm gonna end Damian Priest once and for all, or for good. He kind of blames Priest of costing the Judgment Day the tag team title belts against the War Raiders. Anyway, so Dominic tells Finn kind of help him, like trying to help Finn win this match. He didn't. He said like, you stay there, you sort out, with your girl, and just get her bags. Yeah, they're making Dominic the bad boys. You're not gonna see. It's weird to me. You're not gonna see. What's the point having Liv on the show because she's appeared in one segment. You won't see her again. She's not in the segment with Rhea Ripley. To interrupt her celebrations, a promo. It's just makes no sense, man. It's just like, I don't think the blow off between Rhea and Liv is over yet, so it'd be more believable to just have Liv instead of Nia. You could still, instead of having Nia interrupt, you can have Liv interrupt Rhea. That's just me. That's a bit of a logic problem. So we won't see Dominic on this show. It's just what it is. So yeah, let's move on to the main event. So we got Damian Priest taking on Finn Balor in a street fight. So predictable, but it was a good match. I think if you pick match of the night for me, I have to go with the opener. Penta versus Chad Gable. But this takes second place, the silver medal. So it was a good match. It was a good brawl. You had I think Priest hit Balor with the broken arrow or the Falcon arrow off the balcony through the table. You got people like you got the like MLTs, you got the referees, helping escorting Balor onto the stretcher, selling like he injured his back, and then you got members of the Judgment Day. I think you got like Carlito and JD Madonna. No Dominic, so what's the point? I feel like what's the point having Raquel, Liv, and Dominic on this show? They're not going to play a part in the main event. Like I said earlier, like a couple minutes ago, or a couple of seconds ago, with Liv and Raquel interrupt Rhea's promo. That's just me. It's just I'll get some overall rating of this Raw shortly. So afterwards, besides that, it was a good match, good brawl. Too predictable. You had members of the Judgment Day trying to help Finn. I think like Priest. Priest kicked out of Balor's coup de grace. He did a coup de grace on the table. That was cool. I thought like Finn's gonna break his leg. Like, it's funny. Like, I think Edge did like a move, or Adam Copeland did a move. It was in a steel cage match against Micaiah Black. This was at AEW. I think it's at Revolution. Can't remember what pay-per-view. I think it's Revolution or Double Nothing of last year. And then you had Copeland, Edge. Did a move off the top rope. He ended up breaking his leg. That was like, I don't want to get into that, but I thought like Balor injured his leg, but instead he didn't. Doing the coup de grace onto the table. But he did a coup de grace onto Priest on the table. I think like I can't remember. I didn't really pay the match. I didn't like pay. I can't half pay attention of this match. I don't think. Can't remember. I think Priest did hit the Razor's Edge. I'm not too sure. He did hit the South of Heaven's chokeslam. I think the first off it was I think Balor kicked out, or members of the Judgment Day interfered. But anyway, so you got the War Raiders came to the rescue, beating down both JD Madonna. I wish they called him Jordan Devlin, but I don't know why they repackaged him or rechange his name to JD Madonna, but it's just me. But anyway, so JD and Carlito got chased out of the building by the War Raiders. So I'm trying to keep it in the end. So in the end, you thought like you had Balor placing the chair around Damian Priest's neck, while Priest is sitting on the chair. I think it was going for like the I think it was the drop kick in the corner, but instead Priest countered it. I think he hit the choke slam, you know, the south to heaven choke slam, while got the chair around his neck and pinning for the win. So yeah, it's a good match, you know. I think it's the rubber match of the rivalry, but I wish it's just what it is, man. I think it's too soon to end this rivalry, even though it started at SummerSlam when you had Balor costing Priest the championship against Gunther, and it continued going into the autumn of 2024, going into that match at Bad Blood. Even though they fought at they didn't compete in the War Games. You know, that was you had they had 3 matches off for free. So yeah, they had the mixed tag team match at Bash in Berlin. You know, no, I can't remember. So, but I'm hinting that the Judgment Day is going to be broken up. You know, I think they're going to broke up. Probably it has to be broken up. You know, because the group's been around for almost 3 years. My overall rating of Monday Night Raw on the 13th of January 2025, I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. A bit of a drop off from the first Raw on Netflix the previous week, but this show is still good. The 5 things I put in the good is Penta's debut against Chad Gable in the opener, Sheamus versus Ludwig Kaiser, the Women's Intercontinental Championship match, the segment to kick off the show between Seth Rollins, CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, and the main event between Damian Priest versus Finn Balor in the street fight. The Sami Zayn versus Miz match, I put it in the okay. It's not terrible. It's not designed to be an instant classic. You know, it's just kind of there, short and sweet. The 2 things I put in the bad for me is the segment revolve around Rhea, Bayley and Nia. You know, I don't blame this on Rhea and Bayley. I blame this on Nia because she was cutting these bad jokes. You know, she was portraying as the bully, and then you got like 2 women like totally get beating and overcome the bully. You know, it's just a dull segment. I don't want to get into the details of that. And also putting Liv Morgan in one segment with Dominic and telling Dominic to get her bags. She's not mad with him. You know, that was just like, yeah, the way Liv on this show. I wish they put Liv in the segment, you know, with Nia, Rhea and Bayley to help it, but what a waste. But yeah, it was a good show. You know, yeah, I think 7.5 out of 10 is it's a fair result for this episode of Monday Night Raw. So, what's your thoughts on Monday Night Raw on the 13th of January 2025? And what's your thoughts on this review? Please leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Smash the like button, click the like, click the bell, subscribe to the Central Man Network on YouTube, be part of the Central Unit and more. And I promise you, I might not review every Raw from every week, so be patient, so fingers crossed. And this is the Central Man officially signing out. Check you later, folks.